So investing in yourself, I mean, outside of financial or education, what are other ways that you invest in yourself? I guess like if you get like a trainer, that's investing in yourself. You
should always have some form of personal development, I would say. Personal development or investing in yourself.
And where do you find that, I guess? Because I feel like I can name people that I feel like don't personally invest in themselves.
Yeah.
But where do you find that? For us, a lot of it is social media at this point.
Yeah. I think you did a good job about like investing in yourself in terms of like we already know, like I'm in these networking groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think now you're at that point where you're starting to see some things that you want to do. Like you invested in like this conference that you wanted to go to.
Yeah. Didn't make it.
And it wasn't even a question. It's like you wanted to pay, I don't know what it was, $1,000.
I paid the early bird special of $1,000. Yeah, it was a 3-day.
It wasn't
conference.
a question. Yeah. You paid the money. It's like, all right, cool. You wasn't able to go, but that was you. Like, all right, how can I invest in myself to, I don't know what the conference was about, but
yeah,
you just like, I want to do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I think those are ways you can invest in yourself. You can read more books. That's a good investment.
Oh, that's true. Books are a big investment. I don't read, but yeah.
I mean, listen to different podcasts or, fly out to different events or being around like-minded individuals or maybe not being around people who are so like-minded as you.
That's a big thing. And I think that goes back to in one of our other podcasts when you speak about leaving your home or leaving where you're from or whatever the case may be, your environment. That's where that plays in, because when you're in your environment, there is no reason to get other people. There's no reason to be around other people.
Yeah.
Like what if we were still in New York? We have enough family and friends. It's like I don't need nobody else.
I don't need to meet anyone.
I don't need any new friends. Like not in a like standoffish way, but it's just like there's no reason to do that. But when you kind of leave home and you see a different view, I think then you start to recognize that getting in those circles are important. Now that doesn't mean you leave your other friends. That don't mean that you're not talking to nobody no more. But getting in those other circles are very helpful because it helps to elevate how you think. You can bounce ideas off each other, because your friends now you ain't gonna bring certain stuff to certain people.
Exactly.
Right? You're just not gonna talk about like, I don't know what I would talk about. It's just certain things you're just not gonna say. And I remember I had a conversation with you about that. Like, it feels weird. Like you want to celebrate a win in the business, but it's like, who do you talk to about it and not feel like you're just bragging about yourself? Right. But I feel like in those circles where people are doing the same thing or doing better than you, it doesn't feel like bragging.
Yeah.
It feels like, oh, good. This is so since you're at this level now, this is what you should do next.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a form of investing in yourself, getting around people who may not be so like where you were. So like our friends and family are like where we were. And we got friends now who are like who are more like where we are now. So it's like, all right, well, we did $100,000 in a month, or we did $1 million in a year. So all right, well, I did $1 million in a month. It's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Teach me. Sit down, brother. Like, where you going?
And so now you're sitting there like, you're not bragging. Now you're sitting there telling them your accomplishments. And they're like, all right, cool. Well, I did $1 million in a month. Here's how I did it. So now you know what's possible. So when you're investing in yourself,
know what's possible.
You're getting around other people. They are pouring into you in a different way than your friends and family would, in holes that you didn't know you had. Right? So now you got people who don't know you from people who don't really know your background, but they only know who you are today. They only know where you are. So it's like, all right, we know you could do numbers like this, but here's what the numbers that you can get to.
Right.
Friends and family could say that, but they don't really know.
No. It's more like, oh, congratulations. Wow, that's amazing.
They may not think like, all right, the next level is $500,000 in a month or $1 million in a month. They may just say, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So investing in yourself is getting around those people who could pour into you in different types of ways.
Right.
And even going back to like we mentioned, reading more books, listening to more podcasts, getting around different people, getting around different rooms.
Yeah.
That was one of the things we did a lot more last year too.
Yeah. Because conferences, not all conferences is $1,000, right? There's some that are 100 or less, or 300. There's different price points. So getting around those people will be crucial, but you have to want to do it and you have to take that initiative. So yeah, what are some of the rooms you would say that we got into last year? So in February of last year, we had you go to that social boot camp, just about social media, content creator in February of last year. And I'm like, you do really well with our content. You want to push more. You listen to this person, like, just go.
Yeah.
I don't know why you were hesitant to go. I don't even remember.
I don't know. And I think that's a personality. I don't want to say flaw, but just my personality. I don't want to be in a room full of people that I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, now I got to expand outside of my. I think I'm pretty sociable, but I think now I got to expand myself more.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the places you want to be in, where you are uncomfortable.
Yep.
So I was forced to be uncomfortable, and the person that I met at that conference brought me into a community. Marlon had brought me into a community of entrepreneurs where I'm meeting with 700.
You met? Oh, you met face to face. Yeah, because we only did
and we got closer after that. It's like, we only saw each other on Twitter. We was on a podcast, but being there face to face, the interaction changed.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, now I do know somebody here, but it still forced me to meet other people at that conference.
Right.
So now I'm expanding in a way that I normally probably wouldn't have at home or back home. So I'm only hanging with people I know, but that put me into where we are today, where we was able to host that conference for a day and be on that podcast and be in that community. So that was one of the things we did last year.
So that was one thing that we did after February. It's all a blur with this pandemic. I couldn't tell you what was 2020 or what was 2021.
Well, our accountant could literally break down every single month of.
Within February is when we had got our coach. And then we had got our financial management team, if you will, maybe in February, April, May, June. Let's
even talk about that, because we have wealth coaches now.
Wealth coach,
and they help us. And that's another part of paying into yourself or investing in yourself too.
Getting your books in order.
Yeah, so we have a business. They don't even do our books. They just literally help us kind of strategize around wealth management. So like life insurance, we didn't have life insurance. Now we got multi-million.
Well, we had it
policies.
with our jobs, but not.
Job is like $100,000. Like, what is that covering? Funerals are expensive.
Are they 100,000? Probably.
Yeah, I think your life insurance at your job is like 100,000.
No. I was saying, or funerals 100,000.
Oh, it was
what
like
I was saying. Probably like 40.
Like 30, 30 maybe.
I don't know.
But one of the first things they said was, all right, you guys don't have life insurance. And they kind of forced us to do that.
Oh, well, we don't have enough for what we're making.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, if one of you guys pass, you want to be able to sustain your lifestyle. And a job is only paying you 100,000 pretty much.
Yeah, most of them are.
So you guys survive for a couple months, but then you're right back to you shouldn't have
based on our lifestyle.
Exactly.
Just clarifying that. Just based on our life, because that's what the insurance.
You shouldn't have to struggle when somebody dies. Your sole focus should be like
grieving and dealing with that,
dealing with life or the lack of. So, like getting us life insurance. Even when we, when this baby drops, all right, making sure we have the right accounts. Taxes was a big one. As you guys have a lot of businesses, it's time to strategize around how to shield some of your taxes, and how to shield some of your income from taxes. So creating S corps and holding companies and stuff like that. So we got people that we
wills and trust, getting our will and trust together and stuff like that.
So like paying for them, their yearly fee has saved us thousands of dollars, and it's also going to make us thousands of dollars as well. Because now we're investing in ourselves. So if we came back and going back to like the coaching question, like how much money can you save us? How much money can you make us? They probably won't take us as a client. You got to be willing to invest in yourself and have an understanding that the return is only going to be what you put in.
That's it right there. The return is what you put in. I mean, that's in life. And so when you take these courses and you read these books and you listen to these podcasts, what's the action after that?
What's the action
So
items?
that's why I can never tell someone, when am I going to start making money, when they ask me that in my DMs over the course, right? And the course we're talking about is cleaningbusinessuniversity.com, which is our course that helps you get your cleaning business up and running without cleaning homes. And people ask that question and I'm like, I don't know. And you're like, well, how do you not know? Because I don't know what your business is going to end up. I teach you a way. I don't know what your business is going to end up looking like. I don't know what you are going to do. I don't know what your marketing is like. I don't know how you're going to show up in your business. Like, what are you going to do? Some people take it and do nothing. Some people take it and do minimal. Some people take it and be a beast about it. So I don't know that answer. You can decide that answer. Like, what am I making sure that I get out of this? Or how do I make sure that I do these action items that I set? So yes, that question is very like, I don't know.
The ROI is only really what you put in. When we post about one of our students who did 400,000 in his cleaning business, the first question people ask, well, how can I find them?
Oh yeah, or how long? Like, did you even read past module 1? Like,
And what he put into it is not going to be what you put into it.
I know
the
for
energy,
a fact.
the time, the
and that's all shade if someone takes it that way. I know for a fact.
Exactly. Like the energy that you're going to put in.
I'm not putting that energy in.
Like a business coach should have the same client paying the same exact amount of money and have two different results.
Yeah.
If me and you were clients of Donnie and we're paying the same exact money, we got two different results. That don't mean that
Donnie ain't doing her job.
That don't mean she's not doing her job. That just means that Janoka had a better work ethic, or Janoka had more, like, let's say your finances were better than mine. Right. And you had more resources that could help you.
Yeah.
Or you had more of a support system and I was just by myself. I didn't have no money or whatever it may be. I may be struggling more. It may take me longer to get those results.
That's why, but that's why I think about sometimes with sport coaches. And people say, I don't know who's losing, or just something. If a team is losing, it's always on the coach.
Yeah.
And I think I understand. Obviously, the coaches maybe call the plays and certain things that they're like. You
Sometimes
shouldn't have done
it's on
that.
the coach.
Sometimes you shouldn't have done that. But then on the other side of it, it's just kind of like, well, maybe the coach said to do something and the player did something else. I don't know. Like,
Exactly.
The player could do something. He could go against the grain. He could decide on the whim, like, okay, yeah, I know my coach said to do that, but it's best I make this move. And it could go well or it could go bad. Yeah. So it's not always that it's just the person that's teaching you. Same thing with teachers. That's what happens. They get rated based on how good their kids do, right? And yes, a lot of it is like you learning and stuff. But if Johnny ain't doing his homework ever... And I've been
Johnny
teaching
has
him.
5 apples.
You take away 3. How is it Johnny? No, Johnny ain't doing his homework ever, and I've been teaching him. And the state tests come around, he failed. Why is that messing up my percentage?
Exactly.
Which is what happens. That's just, I mean, it is what it is. But when you think about it in those different ways, it's just kind of like.
And then even sticking to the sports analogy for a little bit, there are players out there probably better than LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
When LeBron was 18, there were people on the street that was probably better than LeBron James. But going back to the investment or resources, investing into yourself, I don't know the type of upbringing LeBron had. I don't know the type of coaches he had. I don't know the type of environment he was in, the mindset or his parents' mindset, or like we talk about like one of my friends out here. He has a son who plays baseball, and the stuff that he's teaching his son, I've never seen anything like that before. He's teaching his son every single day. He's getting professional players to help him. They're growing and expanding. But there are kids the same age that maybe is good, but they may not have those resources that he had. So when you start investing in yourself, there are ways to do it, but you got to make sure that you are also putting in the work as well.
Right.
So our CPA, she was like, listen, y'all spent a lot of money in investing in yourself this year, and we're going to spend more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we don't got a plan at this second, but there's things coming up. But
we're gonna spend more. Because if there's a correlation in the more we invest in ourselves, the more money we make, what would you do?
Keep investing.
Exactly.
That's it. They keep investing. But thank you guys for joining us today. Make a decision on how you're going to invest in yourself. It can be a range of things, as we mentioned. So you make that decision. But make sure that you are subscribing on YouTube if you're watching us there. Make sure that you are commenting, rating us, downloading. All of the above helps us to continue to grow this podcast. So thank you for listening.
Appreciate you guys being here. This episode was sponsored by cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. If you want to start a 6-figure cleaning business without cleaning houses and do it remotely, tap into our course. Link will be below. And like I said, leave us a rating and review. We're going to be doing these catch-ups with these ratings and reviews. So
shouting you out. So you got to listen to hear it, you know?
Exactly. Appreciate you guys being here. Peace. Okay.